And I'm going to share my screen. All right. Can somebody tell me if they can see that? Oh, hold on. Christy, can you see that?
Yeah, but we see all your tabs. It's not blown up like you normally do.
It's not blown up?
Well, I see all your tabs, but it's fine.
You mean down here?
No, your tabs across the top, My doTERRA, Grow Oils, My Drive.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's fine. We can still see it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to go over a few things today about daily habits and being successful with doTERRA and kind of the things that I do on a daily basis to share with you guys, because some of you guys are newer. And even if you're not, even if you've been doing this for, let's say, 3 years, it's just good to get a refresher on kind of the things that need to be done daily to be successful in this. So 2 things to consider. How do I start the month and get the most out of it? And then what are the daily things that I should be doing? So the first one, jumpstarting the month, what I'll say about that is this business works really month to month. And so planning for the month to make the most out of it really is important. It's really the key to success in doing this whole thing, because if you're just like floating around and going, oh yeah, I'll plan something next week or whatever, if something works out, you're not gonna succeed. You're gonna fail, honestly. So you really have to plan and make a plan of action. So we're gonna go over those 2 things today. So there's 2 different ways that you can go in life, really, but in business also. And it's the little tiny things, and we're going to talk about this, the little tiny things that you do on the daily that really make or break you. So simple decisions, simple disciplines really can drive you forward, but really simple decisions can also bring you down. And it's very important to remember that it's the simple daily actions that you take that can really drive your business forward. And sometimes you don't even realize it till you look back 2 or 3 months and go, okay, what was I doing that was either making or breaking me? What was I doing on a daily basis that was moving me forward in the right direction to succeed or to fail? And sometimes you have to take a step back to actually take a step forward. And so I want you to consider those 2 things as we're talking today, or as I'm talking and you guys are listening. If you have questions, though, just ask. Okay, so there's a roadmap to success through daily habits. And this is super important when you're like, what do I do for doTERRA? What does it mean to do the business of doTERRA? Because that's kind of a tricky question that I get asked a lot. So there's some basic guidelines. And what's really cool about this is it's all things that you can mix right into your daily life, like your normal, whatever you're doing right now, these things can be mixed into that, which is what's really awesome about doTERRA, is it goes really well with just your normal, already existing life. It's not like you have to make some major changes. It's the little things that really make you and build your business. So communication, action plan, mixing online with in-person, broadening your circle, following up, and personal development. I'm going to go into depth on all of these things, but these are the daily habits that I'm going to be talking about today, and how these all together combined really make up doing doTERRA and making you be successful in this business. So keys to daily habits. The first one I'll talk about is communication. So there's 2 different sides to communication, in my opinion. There's bad communication or no communication, and good communication or talking all the time. And David and I have talked a lot about this recently because we're noticing a trend in our business. We're noticing that the more we communicate with our leaders or our people below us that we're trying to help, The more we communicate with those individuals, the more their business is growing. And the people we don't talk to as regularly are struggling. So I like these two images. The one on the left with the two little kids that are playing with the cans to their ear. You can see the line has been cut. And it can be that simple of, I'm not hearing you. I'm not understanding what you need or what you want from me, or how I can help you, because there's the line of communication is not there. And I mean, I feel like that's true in any situation in our lives, but if we're trying to be successful at this, you have to reach out. You have to be willing to communicate all the time. So the image on the right where two people are collaborating, they're coming up with good ideas, they're talking about things, and they're actually making a plan, which I think which is super key in this business. So the best way to communicate daily is either meeting in person, and not every day do you have to meet in person, but once a week if you guys live in the same local area, or once a month at least. Texting, phone calls, Facebook Messenger, whatever you feel the most comfortable with, is the way that you'll learn to communicate with whoever you're trying to communicate with. But in this sense, I'm talking about your mentor, the person that is above you in the business, that's been doing it longer than you, that knows maybe the ins and outs of what's going on. And I will tell you hands down, this is what I want my people to do to me. So Christy said to me the other day, I think I talked to you more than you talked to David. And I said, you're probably right, but I want you to keep doing that until you're at least a diamond or even more, because it's that important. It's that important for you guys to be reaching out to us. Swimming upstream. And what I mean by that is you as the person that's trying to build this as a business, to come to swim up to us, to reach out to us, to call us, to text us, to say, can we get together and strategize about this, that, or the other? That's what we want you to do. Or I have this enrollment, I don't know where to put it. Can you help me figure that out? I'm trying to go Premier. I would really like to strategize about this. Help me figure it out. So that's what we mean by swimming upstream. It's really important for you guys to reach out to us. And I will do it. I will call my people that are below me that I'm trying to help. But honestly, 9 out of 10, I want them to call me, text me, reach out to me, and have them know that I am there for them whenever. Communication is huge, and I have definitely noticed a big difference in who I'm communicating with and who I'm not, and the correlation between how well their business is doing. So keep that in mind. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is making an action plan. Now, the image on the left where it says Elite Action Plan, these are pieces of paper that you can print out every month, and there's one for Elite, Premier, Silver, Gold. I think that's all I've made. And I'll put these in the file section of the Grow Oils Facebook group so that you guys can print them off. It's a PDF you can print off. This right here is the plan, the roadmap, the piece of paper that I hold on to the entire month. So if you're trying to go Elite, you would fill this out on the 25th of the month prior. So is best to do. Okay, and I can do a whole Zoom on just making an action plan, but I just wanted to go over it briefly today. And if you don't know how to fill one of these out, ask somebody, ask the person that helped you get into this, ask your mentor, ask your upline. They'll help you figure this out, because this right here to me is what's going to make or break your month. So get out a calendar, get out your action plan and fill it out, and then put dates on your calendar. And so the best way to do this is by the 25th of the week prior, start making plans for the next month's classes, events, one-on-ones. Just fill in the dates. And if you know your work calendar or your kids' game calendar or whatever, I like to put it all on, because then I'm like, oh, my kids have football at 11. I can't do a one-on-one till 1. or whatever. And I like to try to plan through at least the 20th. So try to book as much as possible in those first 3 weeks. I'll tell you why. Because that last week, if you have classes, awesome. But you can also see where your volume is at by the 20th if you plan most of your stuff prior to that. So that on the last week of the month, instead of scrambling to try to get 3,000 in volume or whatever rank you're trying to go for, you've got most of your stuff accomplished before the 20th. And so you're not frantic in that last week of the month. So try to get as many things possible planned before the 20th, just to keep on track of what you're doing. Sorry for the background noise. Okay. So next, this is a question I get a lot. What about social media? And what about Facebook groups? What do you do about these two things? And how do you go about incorporating them in or not into your business? And the reason that I bring this up is because there's some pros and cons to it. There's a lot of good that can come out of social media, and there's a lot of not good that can come out of social media. So I wanted to go over my thoughts about that and tell you kind of my take on it, and you can do what you want with it. I will tell you up front that most of the, sorry, hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyways, the pros and cons behind social media and Facebook and kind of how I feel about it. So here's how I feel. Social media is awesome. It's really great for reaching out to people, for educating yourself on the products of doTERRA, on the business of doTERRA. Being a part of groups to bounce ideas off each other is really great. Learning from one another is awesome. Reaching out to friends and family through social media, also good. Commenting on people's posts. I don't know if you guys notice this, but a lot of people like to complain on social media. And so they're complaining about, oh, they have a sore throat or their kid has this or that. Comment on it, reach out to them. That type of thing really can help you find new people to talk to. Posting about what you're doing once in a while, I think is great. I'll post about an oil that I'm really liking, or how I'm doing something with oils, or something like that works really well. It helps to expand your circle of friends. So, you reached out to a friend that maybe you knew in junior high or something that you hadn't talked to for 20 years. That's always helpful and awesome. Here's the problem with social media. It's a time suck. It's something that you can get on and you can be like, oh yeah, what did I need to be doing? I'm just scrolling through Instagram, and you get totally distracted and you forget why you even intended on getting on the internet or on your phone. And, then you're 20 minutes has passed and you're like, what was I even doing? I can't even remember. So that's obviously a con. So be intentional about what you're doing on the internet or on social media. Be intentional about it, I think, is key. Being involved in too many groups can be confusing, can be overwhelming. And so be cautious of that. I think pick one or two forms of social media. If you like Facebook, I like Instagram. I use Facebook for groups that I'm involved with doTERRA. And so I can stay up on what's going on social media or on my groups, so that I can communicate with you guys and whoever. But that, I feel like I use those two forms. But if you try to spread yourself too thin on social media, you will be spending way too much time on it. Here's something I don't recommend. I would not recommend starting your own Facebook group right away. Use ours, add your people to it. The Grow Oils page for builders and the Live Oils page for, the Live Oils page for users and the Grow Oils page for builders. You can add yourself to Molly's groups, which is the Essential Oil Junkie, which is a user page, or her Discover Natural Wellness, which is her builder page. If you want, she does giveaways and does really great webinars, Zooms, that type of thing. But try not to be on too many groups. The reason I don't recommend opening your own Facebook group for doTERRA is because it's a time suck, honestly. Use mine and we can help each other out. And then I wouldn't recommend going and starting like a Instagram oil page. It takes time away from you doing the things that are going to make you money. And it's really hard to start from scratch. So I use my own personal Instagram account that I've had for like 6 years. And I just post things about my kids and my life and whatever on that page. But I also, I mean, doTERRA is my life. It's incorporated into what we do on a daily basis. So that's where I post things about what I'm doing. And I'll hashtag doTERRA or hashtag healthy life or whatever, and that's good too, because it brings in new people. But I wouldn't just do all oil pages right now. Incorporate it into your life, because here's what I've found. Social media is online, obviously. Well, what's happening is we need to merge between in-person and online into one thing. And so doing everything online is not good, and doing everything in person is fine, but you're missing some people that maybe you could be reaching out to that don't live near you. And so that's really important. Okay, I've said enough about groups. If you guys have questions about social media or Facebook groups, you can ask me at the end, and we can talk about it. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was constantly broadening your circle. And what I mean by this is broadening who you talk to. I am not the most outgoing person, and I have a hard time reaching out to people that it's easier for me just to sit at the park with on my phone, or not talking to another mom that might be there. But yesterday I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was at football practice for my boys, and I'm sitting there, and there was another mom there that I had met once or twice but didn't really know. And instead of just sitting there on my phone, I decided, you know what, this is a good opportunity to have a conversation with somebody I don't know. And so I just started talking to her and asking her questions about her life and about her family and about, her background or whatever, just to get to know her. And I didn't say a single thing about doTERRA. She doesn't know I even do doTERRA as a business or use oils, because this was the first conversation I've had with her. This was the first time that I'd interacted with her. I didn't want to throw up doTERRA on her in that sense. But what it did was it laid a foundation of trust. It laid a foundation of getting to know somebody new. So when I say broaden your circle of influence, or reaching outside of your comfort zone to talk to people, it's not just about doTERRA. It's just about making new friends. It's about broadening who you talk to. And some of the ways that you can do this are going to the park, school, gym, kids sporting events, yoga classes, break room at work, coworkers, any people that you interact with on a daily basis, but maybe don't interact with on a daily basis, meaning you're in the same office, but you actually don't even associate with each other. You don't care to find out what they do. Well, care about, what's going on in their lives. And you'll notice that people want to open up. People want to start talking to you and, want to reach out to you. So, sorry. So anyways, okay. After you've reached out, I might have this conversation with this person at the park for, let's say, 2 or 3 times, we've gone to football practice. Well, then it might be a good opportunity to bring up oils, or let her ask you, what do you do for work? Or what do you, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? And that's when you can bring up oils or that. Or if somebody gets hurt at the park or at football practice, have samples with you, have oils with you that you can use on your kids or on you or whatever right there so that they can see how you're using them. Then they might spark a conversation like, oh, what are those? I've never seen those before. And that's a good opportunity to give out samples, to invite them to a class or a one-on-one, that type of thing. So continually doing that is going to really help you reach out beyond your normal circle of friends. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's really going to make you grow and your business grow. All right. So huge key to success in this business is following up with people. And so something I like to tell people is, and this is not a quote from anywhere, but you will probably not enroll anybody if you don't follow up with them. Because really, you've talked to somebody, you've given them samples, and then you don't follow up with them. You don't ask them how it went. You don't say, did you like that or not like that? You didn't invite them to a class. You didn't follow up if they could make it to the class or the one-on-one or any of this. I mean, they're going to like the sample maybe, but then they're probably not going to reach out to you, most likely. And if they do, it might be 6 months down the road or a year down the road. Well, and they could have forgotten or whatever. So follow up with people. You've given them a sample. You've had a conversation with them. They're interested in what you're doing. Follow up. Just take the time to text them or run into them at work or at the park or wherever it is and say, hey, how'd that sample go for you? Or, hey, I'm doing a class next week. Come. Let me get your phone number and text you, whatever it is. But if you don't follow up with people, you're going to have a really hard time enrolling anybody. And you're going to have a really hard time making yourself successful in this business. So really the key is to follow up. You've done all these other steps. You've taken the time to get on social media and make posts. You've taken the time to host a class. You've taken the time to meet somebody new and send out samples. And then if you drop the ball on following up, I mean, what's the point, right? There's no point to any of it. So be aware that you should follow up and make it count. Get that enrollment, help them because you love it and you know that they really need it in their lives. All right, the last part of the puzzle is personal and business development. This is huge. And I think when I started, I didn't know it was huge. I didn't realize that I needed to be doing some of these other things that would be key to actually being successful. So getting to know the oils and the products and where they come from. What? Oh my heavens. Sorry. So a couple of resources that you can use is the Living magazine that you get in the mail, or the product catalog that you get in the mail, or the Leadership magazine that you get in the mail. These all have really good resources, good articles, good science insight on how oils work, or they might have a specific article about a certain oil or what to do with it. And that can be really successful in helping just grow your knowledge base on the oils. Looking at doTERRA's blogs can be really helpful, and learning about some of the science behind it. Me personally, when I started using oils, I was like hungry for information. I knew the oils were helping me and my kids, and I wanted to know more about how to use them. And so I was looking up YouTube videos, podcasts, and I was looking up just any information that I could find on different on different ways to learn about the product. So this is not something that you have to do every day, but if you are sitting at whatever, an event, or sitting somewhere where you have 30 minutes, bring the magazine along with you, or scroll through Pinterest and look up different recipes on how to make blends, or, look up what's awesome about frankincense and find information about it. There's lots of different ways to find out information, but it's just good, to keep yourself up and up on the products and how they work. And then the other part of this is personal development. This has been huge for me. I never knew that I would grow so much as a person doing doTERRA as a business. It's kind of like the hidden gem, I would say. The hidden secret is that you get to develop yourself. And really, I've heard this more than once, that doTERRA is actually just hidden behind a personal development company, meaning really you're just using the oils to help you and other people, but really you're just helping yourself develop who you are and how to grow as a person. So there's a couple of books that I really like. There's some audiobooks. I know there's some podcasts. I would highly recommend starting with The Slight Edge. If you have not read it, I would definitely read it. Go Pro is another one that's really great to read. I just finished reading the 5 Love Language book, which is an awesome book because it helps you figure out how you like to be treated and how to help treat other people. So it can help you figure out how to best serve, the people that you're working with, because this whole business is worked as a team. To know that you are being mentored by somebody and that you are also mentoring other people and just helping people grow as individuals. So, I would highly recommend taking time every single day to do some sort of personal development, even if it's 10 minutes or 10 pages of a book, or you're driving I do this a lot. I love listening to podcasts. So I'll be driving down the road after I drop my kids at school, and I might have 10 minutes in the car by myself. I'll turn on a podcast instead of turning on music, or I'll turn on an audiobook instead of turning on music. It's a great way to learn, and it's a great way to take advantage of those little pockets of time that you have. So huge part of doing doTERRA is personal and business development. All right, so repeating these daily steps of communication, action planning, mixing online with in-person, widening your circle, following up with people, and personal development are all keys of the things that will really make you successful in doing this. And if you repeat these every single day, every single week, every month, you will be successful. And the reason that I know this is because this is how David and I did this. This is how we grew in doTERRA. I had never done marketing. I had never done sales. I had never done anything but, art and raising a family. And as soon as I started implementing all of these things into my daily life, that's when we started seeing big results. And we are huge. David and I are huge about this. We communicate with each other. We come up with action plans for our month. We're continually talking to new people, following up with people, and we are very big on personal development. David's really good at this. I am not as good, but he wakes up every morning before our kids get up and reads for 30 minutes before we get our kids up from school. And I usually try to do it between my day, but he's really good about getting up and taking advantage of quiet at our house and developing by reading different books. And so it's huge. So doing these things really helps you grow your business and helps you form these really good habits to being successful. I think that's pretty much all I had to say. I'm going to stop sharing the screen so that you guys can ask any questions you might have. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me? Or you can unmute yourself and ask. No? Nobody? Christy? You're muted.
Oh, I thought that was great, Liz. I agree with all those tips, 100%.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's just really important that we keep in mind. I just know that for me personally, when people say, okay, I want to do this as a business, but I don't know how or what are the steps to take, I feel like everything that I've said can be mixed into our lives. It's not like you have to stop one thing to start this, because it can be intertwined in what you're doing. And I feel like
I just think us as humans are robotic, and we have our routine. And sometimes it's hard to change that routine and alter it.
Right.
But in reality, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, yes, we all have different jobs and amount of kids and all that. But I do think that we all have opportunities to change some of our routines. Me and myself. I mean,
I think that's a good point. That I heard Jim Rohn say this, that if it's not working, change it. So if whatever you're doing in your life, and maybe it's you're not making enough money, or you're partying too much on the weekends, or you're traveling too much for fun and you're not making ends meet, or you're just not happy with some part of your life, stop doing it. Change it. You can change. It's not like it's, oh, too late, or I just need to accept that I'm a failure or whatever. No, change your path. Make it a successful path instead of a failure path. I feel like that's really important. I feel like sometimes people think, here's my ceiling and I can't go any higher. I can't learn anymore. I can't do anymore. I can't reach out anymore. And you have to change that mindset to, I'm going to do this. I'm going to plow through this wall. I'm going to raise my ceiling. I'm going to be successful, Yeah, raise the roof for sure. Yeah, thanks. Good point, Chris. Any other questions?
Hey, it's me.
Yeah.
So one thing that I feel like I've had a problem with, I guess, would be when you're enrolling somebody, you set them up on like their monthly, the LPR, right?
LRP.
But then like today I was talking to one of the girls that's on it, and she's like, so do I have to order every month? And I'm like, no, you don't. Like you should keep it. And I kind of went through the spiel of like, you will lose your points type of thing. But I guess my question is, how do you make that look sexy that people want it like every month versus like just it feeling like on my side as me, like I'm doing it as business. So obviously I want people to be
right.
It helps, but how do I make it where it is like luxurious enough or sexy enough where they're like, yeah, I'm in, versus like, man, I feel like I'm on a subscription.
Right.
I feel like if I get out, because I actually had 2 conversations about it today, and I was just like, ugh, like, no, you don't have to. But then I walked away being like, man, that's 2 more people essentially that I need to like figure 100 out or whatever. So,
right. So you need to, I don't know what you told them, but you need to make it important to them that you're going to help educate them on the oils, that they're going to get your support also. So things like oil camp, like they might be like, well, I only use peppermint for headaches. I don't know what else to do with it. And instead you can be like, listen, peppermint is freaking amazing. I use it before I work out. I use it when my kids have a stomach ache. I use it when I have a headache. I put it, in my bath to wake up in the morning. I like to, whatever you do with, whatever it is. But like, if they're like, well, I just use it once in a while for headaches, they're not going to need another bottle of peppermint for months, if ever, one bottle's going to last them forever. I think you just have, Breezy, you love it. You always want more stuff. So I would be like, listen, have you tried the shampoo? It's freaking amazing. My hair has grown. My hair is healthier. You should really try it. If you don't know what to order this month, try the shampoo. You just have to like try to be excited about it. And then if they know the benefits of it, like, dang, I'm going to get this much money back from it so I can buy free stuff, that's awesome too. But I think just having them, if you're excited about it, they'll be more excited about it.
I think it's a fine line of trying not to be salesman-y, but then you walk away and you're like, but crap, you're going to miss out on a lot of free stuff.
Yeah, like you have to be genuine. I really want you to use the oils because I know they're going to help you. It's not like this sales. For me, the benefit of people using oils is that I get money. The benefit to, I want them to use them because I genuinely want them to use them because that's how I feel about them. They've changed everything about my life. Honestly, I started using frankincense in my 7-year-old's mouth the last few days because his attitude is, I want to contest everything that you're saying and doing. And I've noticed a difference in the last 2 days in him, not being so talk back, not being so grumpy about every situation. And I'm like, holy cow, literally, this changes lives. And when you put that passion towards it, I think they feel it. I think they're like, dang, I do want to use this. I saw Breezy, you posted something about your kids wanting digestion oil on their stomach or something like that. And it's like, oh, yeah, I can use it on my stomach. That's right. I forgot. I was only using it in water. So I think that's where the social media comes in, or just like using them a lot. Lead with the oils, I like to say, because I think that gets other people pumped about using them. I'm the crazy oil person. Like, I use oils all the time. I'm constantly carrying stuff like this around that has ginger and peppermint hot water in it because it makes me feel better, and so doing stuff like that, just implementing it into your life and people seeing it, I think will get other people excited about it, And if they don't want stuff 1 month, be like, you know what? Don't lose your points. You've got 50 points in there. That's like 3 bottles of oil. Just buy a lip chapstick this month and order next month,
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions? No? All right. We'll call it good. Thanks for getting on, guys. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'd love to answer them on the Facebook group or whatever if you need to. But have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
Well, thank you.
Yep, thanks.